I'm going to tell a million stories, and maybe one will hit home, and you'll be like, wow, that happened to me. And it's not about me. Well, it is. You know, television is a very, very crazy beast. I learned so much at Tyra. This is real emotion. This is something that I experienced.
I want the world to see what I have always seen, and that is the love that you have for just being yourself.
I love this person who knows who he is, who can make people laugh.
I think the script I gave you was a little bit different, but I'll take that.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm drinking at work because it's my show. I drink on my show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Do It Like Danny. I hope you did it overnight because we're back. And where we last left off, like, follow, subscribe. Where we last left off, Angelo asked a really, really good question. And it was...
Where is Madonna? No. So I'm really curious because you were talking about Leah Remini, and you've had years of experience with all these ladies that have gone through the talk. So who did you really kind of naturally connect with? Like what?
over my entire career?
Well, I mean,
that's
maybe who was your favorite, but who did you really vibe with?
That's a good question.
You know, honestly, the first person that comes off the top of my head is going to be Tyra.
Yeah.
That's going to be Tyra.
Well, I was actually referring to the talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on that show, I would probably have to say Cheryl Underwood. Loved Cheryl Underwood.
Okay.
So we would drink between shows in her dressing room, and listen, who cares? Because they're getting canceled. Nobody cares now, right?
What was it? What was the drink of choice?
Oh, whatever it was. He would bring vodka,
wow.
whatever. We'd have shots back there.
No wonder she was so crazy on live TV.
Yeah, well, I think they would all drink. I mean, I don't know if Julie drank, but I feel like undercover they would imbibe a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're taping at what time? 11 a.m.?
So we would record 2 shows on Thursday, and that Thursday afternoon show would air the next day on Friday. So we were actually live Monday through Thursday, except Friday was a tape show. Very similar to what The View does, right? Yeah. And so between shows, it was like, great, it's Friday, right? Friday's show. They want the ladies to have energy. They want to be pumped up. Well, every once in a while, they would have drinks in the dressing room.
Like we do sometimes.
And even after the show, we would have drinks also, too. And people had to go to meetings. People had to be on conference calls. Where was the guy who fired me? Okay. Whatever. Anyway, so it is what it is. But listen,
So wait a minute here. So is drinking during the show, in between shows, and after the show normal?
Well, it's television, right? You pretty much, you can do whatever you want. Do people drink during the show? Probably. Do people drink between shows? Absolutely. Do people drink after the shows? Absolutely, 1,000,000%.
So another good question from me.
Okay.
Have you ever seen anybody go over the edge and you knew they were just shit-faced? It's like, oh, they had one too many.
You know, every once in a while, Cheryl would act up a little bit, and I always wondered, right? But she was great. So I can't really say anything negative about her because she always invited us to her comedy shows. We had to pay. But she'd always invite us to her comedy shows, and, and we would support her the best way we possibly could. And she's a very funny comedian. Yeah. She's very raunchy, and I mean that in the most wholesome, amazing way ever. Mrs. O with Sharon Osbourne, was also amazing because Sharon would always give us tickets to Ozzy's concerts.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And so I had never been to an Ozzy concert before.
Did you have to pay for those, though?
No, we did not. They were free.
Yeah.
They were free, and the seats were great.
Yeah.
Like, we, honestly, Mrs. O was always very kind. She would give whatever. I mean, you could play with the dogs. There was never any, you could approach her.
Yeah.
And not that, I was like, yeah, what's up, Sharon? But, she never had reservations about breaking that fourth wall, with the staff.
Well,
the other ones.
She's a legend, in her own right. Really, she brought up. We've talked about this, but she brought up Ozzy's career.
Oh yeah,
she did.
She made it happen.
I mean, he almost killed her, but yeah. I mean, thank God, right?
Yeah. Who had a bar in there? Did anybody have? Where did the liquor come from? Somebody's purse?
Cheryl's dressing room. Yeah. But I think, did others have it too? I'm trying to think. I know some of the executives had alcohol in their offices, but it would only be brought out because here's the other thing too. You had to walk a thin line because there were people that would tell on you, and there were people that would not tell on you. So not everybody was always invited to the party. And for a while, when I would walk in the room, they would be like, the cups would go away, right? And I'd be like, whatever. Like,
you're like, give me one.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, okay, right? You kind of have to do that, like, who's going to do coke first, right? We're all friends.
Oh, my God.
None of that happened. Maybe it did.
Maybe it did.
At Ellen, they all smoked weed. All the writers, But see, here's the weird part. Like, I guess I'm not trying to promote drugs, but I feel like, you know, they needed that to be creative, to write those jokes. And I also think they needed it, too, because
the stress.
Well, Joe Rogan's very open about his pot smoking on his podcast.
He smokes on his show.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's because it's legal. People are just open about it. But I'm really surprised that was allowed because I would think that there would be some rolling of the eyes or shaming that people were drinking on set. Isn't there like protocol or
there is? Yeah. Is it allowed? Probably not.
It's kind of a
could people have gotten fired? Absolutely. HR wasn't in that day.
Yeah.
You know, also, too, it's kind of like, are you going to be the whistleblower?
Yeah.
Because once you're out of the inner circle, you're out.
Yep. Yeah.
And then they will find any reason to fire you.
Yep. Because now you're ruining the party.
Now you're ruining the party.
But I mean, come on, let's face it. The CEO was getting blowjobs. I mean, is that not a protocol that you shouldn't be doing? Come on.
Just say his name, Les Moonves. I don't even sugarcoat that one. He had a button. He was getting blowjobs.
He had a pager.
From someone that was on payroll.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
And of course, it's alleged bullshit.
It happened.
It happened. Matt Lauer, it happened.
Yep.
They wouldn't have made these movies. They wouldn't have done what they've done, right?
Yeah.
Now, on the other side of that coin, do things get embellished?
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's Hollywood, though.
So
shouldn't it?
maybe it was a hand job that turned into a blow job with the donkey and a 49er fan, right?
I think my mother and your mother and Louis just fainted.
No.
Okay,
Like they've never heard these things
your
before.
mom's not even watching.
Speaking of moms, happy Mother's Day!
Yeah.
We're so sorry we forgot. But happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. Obviously, we wouldn't be here if we didn't have our mothers.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
So thank God
Much
for
love to all of our mothers.
cisgender people.
Don't say that.
Okay?
I hate that word.
I'm sorry. Because,
Yeah.
if you ain't got the pits and the parts, you ain't going to have kids. All right. So I probably said too much. And you know what? We're probably canceled.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
We're only
because you're either queer or you're not. And that's the way that it works.
Oh, man.
So happy Mother's Day again to all of our mothers and even even my adopted mother, even though I'm not adopted, but she adopted me, Magali, my mother in
New York.
Who I miss immensely. I've not seen her. I'm going to get sad, but I don't want to get sad.
Oh, don't get sad.
So like, share, follow, subscribe. That's going to be my go-to now. Whenever I'm like, I'm getting the feels.
That's awesome.
Like, share, follow, subscribe.
You got to do it with tears in your eyes, too, one day.
Cousin Louis is not a fan of you crying on the show.
No, I don't mind him crying. All I want...
Well, I'm an ugly crier. I'm like Oprah.
No. Listen, you can get emotional all you want. All I want is for people to understand you, because when you cry, you get a little high.
Yeah, fuck you, Louis.
Well, just take lessons from Justin Bieber. He's a cute crier. Or at least they said that.
Again, he's white.
There was like a tear.
Matt Rife, white. I'm trying to be the Mexican Matt Rife.
You're like that Indian that was in that public service announcement.
Excuse me?
From like 1970. Where
With the tears coming out of my eye. Oh, God.
There was a bottle in the
Listen,
ocean.
I love my culture. Like, I'm not trying to deny it and be an X or an O or a P or whatever. And listen, I don't want to get involved in that again because, we've already gotten canceled 15 times over. Okay, so people don't understand me when I'm crying. But you know what I don't understand? I never get political, but here we are.
Again and again.
Gruesome Newsome and Karen Ass.
Angela's
a.k.a. Karen Bass. So I try not to get political, but I live in California, and let me tell you, it's like a f***ing kidney, part of your liver, and your f***ing femur just to live in California, okay? I mean, I went to Gelson's the other night, and I was like, I'll just stop in to grab broccoli, right? And listen, I'm not a cheap ass. I mean, what I have, I mean, it's going in my body. I'm good with it. But I went into Gelson's and I was like, oh, I'm going to grab a broccoli. And I was like, does that say $8?
For one head?
For one head of broccoli was $8. I was like,
Are you surprised? It's Gelson's.
I got, but you know what? Gelson's, yes,
Yeah.
historically has always been expensive.
Yeah.
But you get, right? You
Oh,
get what you paid for.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're going to pay $8,
Quality.
it's like,
Yeah.
It's a couple heads. Yeah.
It's a couple of heads.
Somebody plucked it and then delivered it to you.
Right? You're like, oh my God, Mr. Chavez, is that you? Right? But I went to get potatoes and I'm like, $4.99 a pound for potatoes?
You're eating like a poor person.
Yeah.
Where's the porridge?
Yeah, they grow in the ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I normally cook all of my own food, but like now you have to get strategic.
Yeah.
You have to shop at like Smart and Final. You have to go to Vaughn's. You have to go to all these different places
Yeah.
because some places they'll dupe you. Well, the produce may be cheap, the meat is expensive.
Yeah. Right.
And the one thing about my meat,
Whoa. I thought this isn't Danny After Dark.
like I said, let me bring it down a notch. The one thing about my meat is that I always get quality meat.
Get it and receive
Whether
it.
my meat is imported or my meat is from across the street, it's always going to be quality, right?
Grade
So,
A.
Yeah. So Whole Foods has great meat, and I'm very lucky. My friend Linda always buys like amazing meat or fish or whatever. And yes, it's expensive, but when it comes to proteins, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
I'm not like organic. I mean, listen, again, we're all going to end up in the same spot.
And is it really organic? Come on.
I mean,
Who knows?
Yeah.
people pee on it and shit on it.
Are you really watching the cow? Are you running around? Are you
Yeah,
outside?
like my favorite is when they say, "Oh, the honey's organic." Really? How do you know the bees didn't f***ing fly over here? They didn't stay in the same area. You
Yeah.
could have a rogue bee from down the road who's humped everybody.
A dirty bee.
Thank you. A dirty bee. And meanwhile, people are touting, oh, it's organic. There's no such thing. That's impossible.
Yeah.
You cannot control Mother Nature.
Exactly.
Anyways, let me get my soapbox.
Okay, off your meat.
Thank you. Back to the meat portion of the episode. Quality protein. Only imported.
And you get yours from South Africa.
Yeah. I think it's fur. It's kind of fur, but it's delicious. Anyway, so,
That meat's been shared.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. People have subscribed. People have liked. People have followed. That meat's been everywhere. There's nothing special about that meat.
No.
Yeah,
Like
the
McDonald's
passport's
now.
even like worn out. The pages are gone from that meat. Yeah. Sorry, Jurgen. Anyway, so back to Gruesome Newsom and Karen Bass. So Newsom appointed. It's a governor-appointed panel, and the name of the panel is the California Public Utilities Commission. I've been drinking, so I have to read my notes.
No.
So apparently, although it's not LADWP, it's other electric companies and water and power companies in the state of California that are now charging $24.15 in addition to your normal charges.
Wow.
So it has gotten so fucking expensive to live here. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we actually, because like, you know, I lived in New York before, so it is actually very expensive. It's more expensive to live here than New York
But why is that?
because we have cars.
Ah,
We're paying
yes.
$9 million a gallon of gas. Meanwhile, New York, oh my God, in Jersey, you aren't even allowed to pump your gas in Jersey.
That's so weird.
Winter, rain, thunder, whatever, earthquake, you pull up, they pump your gas.
That's a law.
Wow. Yep.
Well, that's weird.
They pump your gas. Here, it's like $19 a gallon, and they're like, like they spit on you. The little clicker doesn't even work. Listen, honestly, if I'm going to pay that much money for gas, I'm so sorry. Two things. That f***ing hose better reach.
Daniel wants to be pumped.
Yeah. That import. Quality meat. That hose better reach.
Yeah.
Okay? Not reach around, but that hose better reach. And that mother clicker better click.
Yeah.
Because I'll be damned if I'm gonna fight with it and right? And you're like, I'm paying all this money for gas at the end of the day. And I think the windshield wiper water should be clean.
Yeah, it's always dirty, right?
It's always dirty. And it's like all you see is like the numbers. It's all 9,000, 10,000. You're like, my God, I gotta take a loan out to get a fucking tank of gas. So yes, okay, let me calm down.
But that's because they want to make all of California electrical, which I think is a horrible idea.
Oh my God, that's so dumb too.
Considering you drive for a living.
I mean, and that's Newsom gruesome.
Yep. Gas.
I mean, we don't even we can't even support the infrastructure.
No.
I mean, you see on Instagram, you see on TikTok, you see all these people fighting over chargers. You also see where people install them in their homes. And I guess when you install it on your home, it shows up on the app.
Yep.
So just a random person will come and park in your driveway and you're like, excuse me, excuse me, that is mine. And they're like, no, it's on the app.
So I read an article, actually, I don't mean to interrupt you, but speaking about, Teslas and things like that.
Mesla.
Apparently, whatever government funding that went into a lot of these charging stations being made, only 8 have been made. And I don't know how much money they've gotten, but I'm assuming it has to be a shit ton. And it can't, I mean, that's wild. Only 8 when people are trying to go all electric. We're not ready. There's no way we're ready.
There's no way. And they proposed, again, gruesome Newsom, proposed that they would turn the LA River, for those of you of my people that watch abroad, the LA River is basically...
It's a man-made river.
It's a wash.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it rains, all of the shit goes into this channel, and then homeless people, unhoused people jump into it, and we have to rescue them and pay more money to get them out of the water. So
For our viewers in Uganda.
thank you. They want to cover the LA River, which is not a river, but it's in LA. And they want to cover it with solar panels to be able to absorb the energy of the sun, to be able to support the infrastructure of charging.
That just seems like a bad idea.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. But how are you going to rescue the homeless people when they're floating down the river?
Well, I mean, what about all those cars that get stuck every year? There's always someone who somehow drives into one of them. Which is
How are you going to know if there's solar panels above them?
never see that?
They're going to be dead.
Oh,
But Cousin
yeah.
Daniel, I know you're all about hating Newsom, but did you hear? This is another breaking moment. Did you hear that Newsom signed a historic bill raising the wage for healthcare workers to $25 an hour? So that utilities bill is going to increase your wage.
Look at that. You got. Well, you're not.
So
have you
what, I
gotten
got to
paid yet?
stub my toe? I mean,
So you're going from $18 to $25 an hour.
Wow, look at you
Yep.
moving up.
He signed. You're caught off guard. Look at Dan. He's just like,
Well, wait,
what?
wait. Have you
Wait.
gotten paid yet?
I have not gotten paid yet.
Well,
And I'm a health worker.
yes.
And I should just probably go into that story for a hot second. I should give you a little bit, right? Let's put a pin.
But did you
Let's
hear
bring
that?
it down a notch. I did not. And I'm very
Okay.
angry because now I'm even more fired up, right? Karen Bass, I'm coming to your house. Because we got to talk about homeless people, too. I mean, unhoused people. Because now there's misappropriation of funds. Shocker in
yeah.
California.
You don't
Corruption.
say.
Oh, my God. I didn't know it existed.
I thought we were fighting against that.
Oh my God, I want to fight everybody at this point. And I never get political, but I'm fired up. And the reason also too is because remember the protesters? Remember
Yes.
all
Yep.
those
Yes.
spoiled rich kids, right? And now all these reports are coming out. Oh, my daughter got suspended. She's not going to be able to graduate. And then the kids are releasing these statements. Well, I was just trying to support the country. People are like, you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, idiot.
So now you're upset because you're getting expelled. They're not letting you graduate.
Good.
And
You
Good.
lost
You deserve that.
$80,000 of tuition.
here's my
Good.
favorite. My favorite is they asked all those kids, have you voted? Did you vote?
What did they say?
No. Wow. A lot of them
Yeah.
have not or did not vote.
Yeah.
The ones that answered, yes, I have, very few and far in between, right?
Yeah.
So here now you have these children, these idiots who are protesting
They're adults.
about something that's not even in their country. and they aren't doing anything to support their own
Of
country.
course not.
So now they're fighting and saying, oh, well, Biden is supplying all of the weapons. Did you vote? Did you
Yes.
vote, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
they-
you're voting for them multiple times.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to make fake IDs. I'm going to get all their names.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, yeah, so we could go on and on, but the corruption is like, it's thick.
Well, I know this is Montecito, but I live near a tiny homes village, and that is a nightmare.
It is, because I've actually
It is
picked
a
up
nightmare.
people from the tiny home village, not knowing what the tiny home village was. For those of you that don't know what a
Oh.
tiny home village is, it is a group of small houses
Yep.
that are meant for people to
Storage sheds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is hot.
Yeah,
Straight
it's
down
right
the
here.
street. I
Yeah,
just
and
forgot
it's
about
Santa Barbara.
It's very scary. They have patrol security. I had to pick somebody up there one day, and I was like, "Where am I?" Because
Yeah.
you go through the parking lot,
On
and
a
there's
drug
like
run.
there's random fires.
Oh, yeah.
There's like random homeless people, and there's baskets everywhere, and I'm like, I don't think this is safe, right?
And you're in a Mercedes. Can we say Mercedes?
A Mercedes. A Mercedes. I'm in a Mercedes. And so what was scary was I was like, I'm just going to leave, right? But it was like an expensive fare. It
Yeah.
surged.
Where are they getting the money?
Right?
An
Oh,
$80
Karen
Right.
Bass. Karen Bass.
yeah, Karen Bass. Misappropriation of funds.
Yep.
Here's free Uber
You
rides.
take EBD or what is it? What are those
It's
cards?
EBT. Yeah.
Or
EBT.
EBT. Yeah. I mean, listen,
How are they paying?
I don't know. But
Yeah.
speaking of EBT, on a quick note, I'm always crazy about, what is it? Unhoused and
Unsighted.
non-sighted and all these other stupid things that somebody paid someone to be like, we should think of a better word. Oh, my favorite is also when someone's dead, they're unalive.
Rebranding all these words.
Why are they rebranding? My favorite, the other day I heard this commercial. Food stamps. If you find yourself,
I can't even do this straight face.
if you find yourself nutritionally challenged, reach out to your local LA County to be able to get food stamps.
Oh my goodness, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I know this is
Yep.
crazy. I've gone off on my tangent. I'm like an old man at this point.
Well,
I am officially an old man. I think this is what old people do, right?
telling
You're like,
these kids
you
to get off your
fucking
lawn."
Kids, right? Like, I have my teeth, but fucking you, right? Like,
can I touch on the subject of non-sighted people? So I have a neighbor who had a heart attack, flatlined twice. The
wow.
doctors were concerned he would come out with brain damage, but he actually came out of it okay, except he can't see.
Oh, that's terrible.
so he
So-
didn't have any oxygen to his brain.
Out of my anxiety, when I would run into him, I would find myself constantly saying, I'll see you later. It's great seeing you. I'll see you tomorrow. And this poor man can't see.
Listen, I did the same thing too with my blind client. I will be like, oh, did you look at that? I'm like,
Can
Do
you
you
see
see
that?
what I'm telling you?
I'm like, it's over there.
You're like, look.
And I forget. You do forget. Like, I forget all the time because what comes naturally to us, or even when we're like in Costco. Like, if you want to go get, I say flavors, but like fabric softener, like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
different scents, right? So you have to like, oh, that's Meadow Breeze, that's cotton. And you're like, oh, I have to like get it. And like I have to squeeze it so she can smell it.
smell it,
Like,
yeah.
so she knows what they
You're
are.
squeezing.
Yeah, you squeeze it. I'm over
softener.
here.
Oh.
Yeah, because you want to. Listen. I'm all about scents, right? Like, and even like the scratch and sniff on those Febreze things. I'm like scratching.
Yeah, you're
over
like a
there.
bloodhound.
Yeah, you have to think about it. You have to figure out ways to creatively describe things
Yeah.
to someone that's non-sighted. Now, I'm actually very lucky because she had sight, so she knows colors. She lost it in her early ages.
Okay.
Macular degeneration.
Yeah.
So, she and cataracts. So, I'm kind of a little bit in the plus side, LGBTQ plus. No.
You're husky.
Yeah. I love husky. We don't use husky enough anymore.
Oh, we don't. But I hate that. My
You know
mom
what?
used to call me that. Used to piss me off all the time when I was
Listen,
a kid.
I went to private school, and when I needed pants, it was husky.
Yeah, it was
Aw.
husky.
And you know
I
what?
hate that word.
I like husky over plus size.
Yeah, okay, I'll say that. But
Okay.
the way my mom would say it, it was almost like she was calling me fat. So I used to
Well,
hate
listen,
it.
hello, try your thighs rubbing together, and at St. Didicus, we had to wear corduroy, and those little lines,
Yeah.
right? And my little thighs would wear out in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, husky. Okay,
So
back on track.
Speaking of parochial schools, you went to school with a cousin of mine.
Oh,
Terry, who is an avid watcher.
Well, we mentioned her last
No, we
episode.
didn't. It got shelved.
Oh, because you deleted all the videos?
So I just want
Oh!
to give a shout out to my cousin, Terry Lou, who loves the show.
Yes,
good.
Terry and I
Loves the
went
show.
to
St.
private
Genevieve's.
schools. Yes,
St. Jen's.
and I lasted a minute there.
Yeah.
I was a crazy child,
Yeah.
and then
Kicked
my
out.
parents got divorced, and I got pulled out.
Reform School Girls was based on your story.
Yeah, listen, I really liked having the uniform, to be honest, because you didn't have to like dress up. And then when
Yeah.
I went to public school, I was like, oh, I
gotta put clothes on.
So I didn't know they
Think
had
about-
corduroy skirts.
No, not corduroy.
He didn't get it at first.
Touche. Quality meat. Quality jokes.
We're back
Touche.
You know, Angela, you just need a couple more drinks. That's what's
Yeah.
gonna get you on point.
You're actually funny. You're on point.
I don't drink.
Oh my God, give him more.
Not showing the label. but-
God, don't show the label. They want them to sponsor us. Don't show the label. Don't
He
show the label.
he needs a liquid
Everyone
courage.
knows that trademark green glass. Don't even show that. They should sponsor our show because you
Oh, yeah.
become funnier. Oh my God.
That's a good ad for
That's
Jake.
yes.
Oh, God.
You want to be funny? A shot of this. It's all.
I should have been
You hear it pouring, right? Make all your friends laugh. All right.
it's
Oh my
not-
God! I just wrote a commercial.
Make boring fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm boring.
Look, I'm funny now too.
They're all coming after my job. Oh my God. You're all want to be Matt Rife. Get out of here. Get out.
Was he canceled, speaking of Matt Rife?
Ooh, oh God, they've tried. He's
Oh.
just so funny.
Oh, yeah.
He's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
He makes fun of everybody. He makes fun of, handicap, manicap. I mean, he makes fun of everybody. Like
Yeah.
he fucks with everyone. So
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you can't really say he goes after one particular person. Black people, white people. I mean, he makes fun of everybody. And I love his humor. I enjoy all of it because that's the way that I think in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really up, right? But he says it, and people are like, "Oh my God, you're so amazing!" He calls people white trash. Like he says it the way that it is. I mean, that's the way comedy should be.
Absolutely.
we should be able to laugh at ourselves.
Modern day Don Rickles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
modern day Don Rickles. You're absolutely
But
correct.
he says one thing, and suddenly it's like the world's against him. And it's like, come on, people, just laugh.
Oh, but because people listen to be offended.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
like, oh my God, the latest thing I was on Instagram the other day, and there was this. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but it was. I don't know what it was in terms of a pronoun.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be mean. I didn't know if it was a man. I didn't know if it was a woman.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mispronounce.
Can I say this? It's getting harder to tell.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out there and I'm like, I can't, I don't, I'm afraid to message. I'm afraid to do
Yeah.
anything.
It had dreads. It had glasses like Carla from the food show. Like it looked like Carla from the food show, but it sounded like a man. So like I was like, whatever. Like let me see what this person has to say. And he's like, this is the thing that I have a problem with. Yeah, listen, when I talk, I probably sound like a fucking woman, right? Apparently, I never went through puberty. My bad, okay? But when people kind of emphasize it more, I don't think that they're credible.
Yeah.
So he comes on and he goes, "You're going to block all the celebrities because they need to speak up about Gaza and Israel and blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm telling you all right now. To block. I block Taylor Swift. I block Madonna. And so he lists all of these people that he's blocked,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And so people were like, okay. And here's the thing that I'm thinking. I'm like, nobody cares.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, Poodle.
Yeah.
Poodle,
Who are
focus
you?
your
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Focus your energy on something else. Like, what do you look like?
Have a shot
You're
of
like-
Jameson. Get funny.
Yeah, get funny. Yeah. He was
You
not
and your
funny.
9 followers.
And then of course people were like, do you think they care that you're going to cancel them?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
they don't
They
care.
don't. They're going to get
Yeah.
their money either way.
Yeah, and it's like
But I know we're nearing the end, but look at how tides turn because Zendaya.
Zendaya. You know what? You need
Zendaya.
another shot.
Zendaya.
Zendaya.
Both of you.
Did you guys watch Euphoria? Because that was a great show.
I loved Euphoria.
But Zendaya, because Louis got it wrong, she was. None of the designers would touch her. So it's weird how things change.
How did we segue into that, though?
I
That's
don't
so
know.
random. She's so random.
Because we're talking about culture. You know how tides turn when you think you're canceled culture. So no designers would give her gowns to wear, and now she refuses them.
Okay, so you know what I refuse? I refuse to listen to this story. And with that being said, I hope y'all have a great week. Remember, like, subscribe, follow, malo, hollow. Tell all your friends.
Yes.
Don't tell them. But please share. Share. And have a great fucking week. Enjoy doing it like Danny. Bye.
Bye. Woo.